Hello and welcome. Today I'm tackling the issue of project failure and how to handle it. Unfortunately, I kitbashed two model kits and painted them in two different styles, which looked completely mismatched when put together. In an odd twist of fate, I started painting this part using a technique I stumbled across when failing a different model. The first time I used an airbrush to apply varnish, I got the dreaded orange peel effect. That's when the varnish dries with tiny little bumps all over the surface, creating that unwanted texture that catches the light instead of the nice smooth finish you expect from a gloss varnish. Apart from learning from my mistake and stopping it from happening in the future, I also considered if the unwanted outcome could actually be used in a positive way in a future project. This positive thought led me to the idea of creating textured metal surfaces. To recreate this effect, I'm using this glossy black primer from Vallejo, which I think is just black paint mixed with gloss varnish. For this to work, I heated the part with a hairdryer first. This way, the paint dries very quickly and stops it from self-leveling. I used an airbrush with a 0.5mm nozzle, and instead of using the 30 to 40 psi to spray the varnish with, I used about 15 to 20. So instead of the nice fine mist, I got a kind of larger droplet effect. Obviously, I didn't set it too low, otherwise it would just splutter and leave big little lumps. When it had fully dried and had created the little bumpy texture I was after, I cranked up my airbrush back to the, I'd say 35 psi and applied this Vallejo metal colour, which, when seen up close, with the light reflecting off of it, gives it that convincing metallic look. Although I can't put these two pieces together now, and will probably have to repaint one of them, I wondered to myself, how could I get something positive out of this little project? And this video is that. Dealing with a problem or failure can be disheartening and frustrating, but I found that trying to chase the problem and trying to fix it only ends up making things worse. You do have to know when to stop and start again. At the end of the day, it's only paint. And although I spent time on this, it's experience earned. Always remember, when something doesn't go to plan, it doesn't mean you failed. It simply means you found a new way to approach a future project. Personally, I always believe we only learn from making mistakes, and we never learn anything if we get it right the first time. While the words like failed, problem, and gone wrong sound negative, approaching them with the mindset of learnt something new and think about how it can be useful in the future can shift the focus to positives. This perspective often leads to feeling happier in your hobby. So embrace your mistakes, learn from them. It's only plastic and paint. And if you get really frustrated with a model, you can always paint a different one instead. Thanks for watching and have fun.